Welcome back in the pursuit of wealth, crypto traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today is Sunday. Happy Sunday, August 24th. Hope you're having a great weekend. And in this video, we're going to do another rapid fire news update. This time it's going to be between August 16th and the 22nd. And again, it's not a deep dive detail, it's just a high level overview in case you missed it. There wasn't a ton of news this week, so we'll jump right to it. Before we do, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. This is for entertainment purposes only. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. I'm going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And almost at 1,100 followers here on X. And we just passed 10,000 subs on YouTube. So love each and every one of you who supported me over the years. Really means the world to me, and I don't take it for granted. So thank you very much for all of your support. So jumping into the news, Bitmine accumulates $6.6 billion in Ethereum, rivaling Bitcoin treasury companies. And there's been like Tom Lee's super bull on Ethereum at the moment, believes that it can hit somewhere between 15,000 by the end of this cycle and the end of the year. There's been some commentary as well that he believed that ETH could potentially flip Bitcoin's market cap. It's very possible. Personally, I think XRP is going to flip both of them, but we're still early in this crypto game, and we're seeing a level playing field. We've got some information pertaining to the XRP decision and Ripple case, and yeah, we're starting to see that field being leveled. So SEC also delayed decision on Grayscale spot XRP ETF. So this has been a trend for a while now, not just with XRP ETFs, but other alts as well. So it's looking like September, October, we're more than likely going to see an XRP spot ETF approved in the US, more than likely going to see Solana, Litecoin. There's a ton of them that are, I think, a Sui one, there's a Doge. There's so many different crypto alt ETFs that are more than likely going to get approved, and they'll probably do it all around the same time. And like I said, expect that to happen at some point between now and the next couple of months, but should happen before the October deadline, in my opinion. Also, Flare posted, what makes Flare the XRP Fi layer? Flare is a fully developed ecosystem not stopping at bridging or depositing XRP, with a full suite of on-chain DeFi, decentralized finance primitives that extends XRP's utility. It is built on a native data protocol with a strong focus on institutional grade security. FXRP, Firelight, XRP Fi on Flare. That's how we roll it. So essentially what Flare is doing is it's bringing smart contracts, liquid staking, so DeFi to projects, layer ones like XRP, there's Doge, Bitcoin, that don't have it natively built in. So very bullish on Flare. I posted a couple of videos this week. One's got 3,000 views. So we've already seen a massive community develop already around Flare, and it's only just getting started. Also, Robinhood lists Sui for trading in the US. They recently launched Hedera as well. So Sui making some big moves here as well, and with the help of Robinhood. Also, Bitcoin is at risk of a 51% attack from two miners. So this is something that no one ever talks about, right? There's two big mining pools that essentially control most of the hash power. And with a 51, if they control over 51%, they could attack the network and potentially reverse transactions. They could also change the protocol. So instead of there being a max supply of 21 million, they could increase that. So this is a huge risk. And there's not a whole lot of people talking about this because it doesn't fit the narrative, right? The Bitcoin and Ethereum mass marketing machine. And realistically, governments could spend, they could just, there's a figure that they could spend to basically spin up as many GPUs as possible and take control of the network. So given enough money, and believe me, governments have enough money to do this if they really wanted to. This is something that we have to be aware of. And everybody talks about how Bitcoin is super decentralized. Well, this basically proves that it is not. And I think it's a lot worse than what the data would show. I would say, we just have to be very, very cautious of this. We still don't even know who created Bitcoin. Personally, I think it was the US, probably the NSA. But at the end of the day, just make sure you're aware of the risks of holding Bitcoin. Personally, I'm all out of Bitcoin. I bought it at like 3,000, sold it in 2021 for like 50,000, And yeah, I could have held it to 100,000, but that would have only been, another 100% gain or 150% gain. Whereas I switched into some altcoins. I was buying XRP around the same time, switching my Bitcoin into XRP at like 20 cents, 30 cents, and now XRP's over $3. So that's way more than 150% gain that I would have had if I stayed in Bitcoin. But to each their own. Don't do anything, don't buy or sell anything based on anything that I do. Also, the Fed warns that banks could become irrelevant if they ignore blockchain adoption now. Fed Vice Chair urges banks to embrace blockchain or risk irrelevance, kind of a blockbuster moment, citing tokenization and fraud prevention as key benefits. So again, the incumbents are being disrupted and everybody around the world is capitulating, including China. China is set to legalize yuan-pegged stablecoins this month after a 12-year hiatus and crypto ban. So again, stablecoins are taking over the world, folks, and it's really the stablecoin wars and crypto wars, because now we have a level playing field, right? We're going to have clear rules of the road in the U.S., the biggest capital market, the biggest economy in the world, and you're going to see a level playing field. The shackles have been released from XRP and the Ripple case, so we'll discuss that here in just a moment. Before we do, though, Kanye West's official YZY Yeezy meme coin debuts on Solana with blistering gains. Just be very, very cautious with meme coins, folks. Personally, I'm not a meme coin fan. I don't dabble in it at all. I'll do some trades like we're doing BTCC copy trading. There's 28 copy traders at the moment. There'll be links for this in the description as well. You can get a 10% deposit bonus, but essentially you can just copy. It's a crypto trading challenge that we're doing on BTCC Exchange. You can just copy, buy when I buy and sell when I sell. It's very easy, and we've traded like Dogecoin on there. I recently closed a Doge trade, and I think it was up around 15% on that. But that's pretty much all I will do. I'm not investing in meme coins. I think it's, the casino aspect, if you will. It's akin to going to the casino and throwing it all on black or throwing it all on red, right? It's the riskiest of the risky, and you're already in a very, very risky, one of the, if not the riskiest asset class on the planet. So to introduce even more risk, I try to stay away from it. So the market cap, though, it was more than 3 billion within 40 minutes after it went live. So there's going to be some people making tons of gains. But when it's gone up that much in like an hour, you're probably going to get burned. So just be cautious of pump and dumps and rug pulls. Also, Reborn Coffee is set to pilot crypto payment option through point of sale systems at Southern California stores. So second step in digital asset strategy will include customer use of crypto payments in 2025. Folks, this is going to happen a lot quicker than many think. And PayPal has already rolled out over 100 crypto options and payment options for US merchants. And you're going to see this everywhere, folks. Everything's a QR code now. Eventually you'll go into a store, you'll order, there'll be a QR code at the cashier, or there'll be one on your table. And you won't even need to bring over like a proof of, a point of sale, proof of stake. You won't even need a point of sale device, right? They're not going to come around with those wireless devices anymore. They're just going to have a QR code on your table or a QR code at the cashier. And then you're just going to scan the QR code and you're going to send your crypto, and bada bing, bada boom, it's over. And it'll be done not using Bitcoin. Only way it'll be done using Bitcoin is if you're using like a US merchant option through PayPal, right? Because what they're going to do is they're going to use the PayPal network. They're going to hold Bitcoin, and then they're just going to go over the PayPal network, and it's going to settle in Bitcoin, but it's just the reserves that they have. So they're not going to actually use the Bitcoin network, right? The Bitcoin protocol. They're going to use their own protocol, their own payment system, and then they will just clear it in their own Bitcoin holdings, if that makes sense. But there will be some companies that I think will just direct accept these cryptos and avoid paying a fee to PayPal. Keep in mind it would probably be, a fraction of what you would be paying in fees from a traditional point of sale system, and MasterCard, credit card fees, etc. for the merchant and then the customer. So again, folks, this is going to happen a lot sooner than many think. You're already seeing it here in Edmonton, Alberta, where all of the traffic meters have been replaced with QR codes as well. It's just a sign on the side of the street, and you go up and you scan the QR code, and then you go to a website and you pay. So it's all heading that way, folks. It's a cashless economy, and everything's going to be QR code driven. Also, Chainlink, which has been on an absolute tear, they achieved ISO 27001 certification and SOC 2 attestation, bolstering security standards for DeFi, so decentralized finance. So again, Chainlink, I think is going to be a great winner long term. I do own it in my portfolio. I think this project could easily hit between $100 and $2, $100 to $200 this cycle. Also, Coinbase adds World Liberty Financial's USD stablecoin to its listings. So, yeah, Eric Trump supports it. Obviously, there's so many different stablecoins now, but again, it's not going to be one to rule them all. If we're going to change how finance works, right? Everybody's going to want to have their piece of the pie, and believe me, there's enough pie to go around. So probably the biggest news of the week. I know we're getting sick of hearing it, but it's officially over. And this time, whatever you want to say, the cherry on top, the nice little bow on top, this is the final mandate. So the court has approved Ripple and the SEC's joint dismissals in their appeals and in the case. So essentially, they both dropped their appeals, and now the court signed off of it on the Second Circuit Court signed off on this. So this is the end. It's officially over, and we can get back to building, and it's time for the level playing field to begin. Now we'll see the best one win. Also, Grayscale refiles their S1 XRP ETF. So this is great. This is a huge sign that we could be seeing the SEC working with these companies and filings and filers trying to get this across the finish line. And like I said, I think there's probably a 70 to 80% chance that it happens in September, and probably an 80 to 90% plus chance that it happens by October deadline. Also, XRP enters the top 100 assets by market cap after flipping Pinduoduo, Deutsche Telekom, and Cattle. Never heard of those. They also just overtook BlackRock in market capitalization. So that is impressive to say the least. And believe me, folks, it's just getting started. Bitcoin's flipping like Google. When it's all said and done, mark my words, XRP will be the most valuable digital asset. I think it will be more valuable than Bitcoin. I think it'll be more valuable than Ethereum and everything else. And Ripple, the company, will be the most valuable company on the planet, even bigger than Google or Apple, maybe even both of them combined when it's all said and done, given enough time. But again, I don't need to convince you. I've done thousands of hours of research. There's no way I'm going to be able to convince you in a 10 or 15 minute video. Don't worry, time will do that for you. Powell indicates conditions may warrant interest rate cuts as Fed proceeds carefully. So again, very high probability that we're going to see rate cuts in September. More than likely going to see these altcoin ETFs get approved. We could also see market structure, the Clarity Act, get passed, what's defining a security versus a commodity, and you're going to have clear rules of the road. So folks, giddy up. Everything that we need to see. We've got market expansion opening up. You got pretty much all major indices, including the S&P 500. You got Bitcoin, altcoin market. You've got the Russell. You've got Dow Jones. Everything's at all-time highs, right? And that's just showing even MJ stocks are popping up, which tells you that the risk-on appetite is returning, and market expansion and M2 money supply, everything that we need to see, folks. Get ready. The catalysts coming up are going to send us into an alt season like you wouldn't believe. And there's going to be so much money to be made here over the next couple of months. Just as important to know when to sell as it is to buy. So make sure you have an exit plan and stay disciplined, stick to it, execute the plan, and get ready for some life-changing wealth. All right. Let me know what you think of this news in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.